So next we have Coach Snoop's first grouping of the night. He actually had two. Now, this grouping had me in a bit of a wonder today because either on Mondays, earlier on in the day, or beforehand, at least on Monday, the artists that perform on that day will usually post pictures of their performance and or their rehearsal. So we kind of get a sneak peek as to who we're going to be seeing for the evening. Now I knew this was the last night of knockouts, and I knew that I didn't see Aliyah or Mary or Georgia in a knockout yet, but I sure wasn't seeing them posting anything early on Monday about their outfits, what they were wearing, any rehearsal photos or any performance photos. So I was like, something is up. And I actually got on did a little clip for our Patreons. Please join us on Patreon. We are sharing the real. We share our insights about what we are seeing or not seeing. Something feels or seems weird on The Voice. That is where we share it on our Patreon. So make sure you are joining us for $5 a month. I was sharing with the Patreon, something don't feel right because they have not posted and I know that they have to go tonight. So what ended up happening was that this ended up being not a quick clip. It was more of a MIDI clip. This is, sorry if y'all hear the noise in the background. Car going by, very loud car. They annoy me. This was one of the best MIDI clips I've ever seen this show do, because they actually showed a piece of everybody's rehearsal footage and a decent chunk, I won't say good, a decent chunk of everybody's performance, which was great to see because it's actually going to give me a little bit of something to talk about. When it started out with Georgia, and they were spending a good amount of time on Georgia. So I was figuring, because you can tell the vibe of the show or the vibe of that segment. You could feel that it's going to be quick clip, MIDI clip, something. And they were spending a lot of time with Georgia on her rehearsal. So I thought it was going to have the same feel as it did with Katie O's quick clip. But we did get to see some of Mary's rehearsal footage as well. And we got to see some of Aliyah's footage as well from her rehearsal. So it ended up Georgia sang the song Parachute by Chris Stapleton. Georgia is very obviously comfortable on stage, holleration in her throat, performance quality for days. It sounded like a really good performance. I can't give a lot of information because they only gave us like maybe 15-20 seconds of the full performance, so I don't feel like I have a whole lot to speak on, but from what I saw, she delivered a really great vocal. Next was Mary McAvoy, and she sang the song High and Dry by Radiohead. Again, holleration, communication, all the deal. We know Mary can sing her face off. I'm wondering about the song choice. Again, we have 15-20 second clip. The part that I saw or that they showed was very repetitive. And I'm sure that's how the song is. I just don't know if that song lent itself. And I don't know this song well, so I can't even give a really constructive breakdown of the song and whether it really was a good song choice or not. But for the portion that they showed, the lines of the song repeated, and she was singing them in a very similar way, and it didn't show a whole lot of range. There might have been range in other portions of her vocal, but just in the clip that we saw, we didn't see a lot of range. But I did hear her hitting them notes, though. She was sounding spectacular like she always does. Now, our third contestant was Aliyah, and she sang Angel by Haley. Now, I don't know this song super well, but this is a super hard song. I do know that. Aliyah just gives pro. And if y'all have listened to the podcast before, y'all know what we mean by that. She looks like a professional on stage. She sounds like a professional on stage, and she's only giving a vocal that a professional could do. This again, I don't know this song super well, but this sounds like one of those songs where it's just like, should you even attempt this song? Because it's so hard. It's just like what she did with the Tamar Braxton song. It's like, should you even really be attempting this song because it's so difficult? The song does a lot, the song moves a lot. There's just a lot going on. And though I don't know that everything landed, I know that enough did to make me be like, dang, girl, you just sang this live. Now, it's not truly live, it's recorded, but it's live in front of the judges and the coaches in the audience. So from what I saw, it's just like, props and bravo and standing ovation to you to attempt such a difficult song. And for the most part, landed 10 toes down. Like, incredible, incredible. Um, I would love to hear Aliyah do a song like that I find really challenging, but I don't think moves as much as some of the songs that she's done before. I would love to hear her sing I Have Nothing by Whitney Houston. Now, you say the name, saying Whitney Houston on this here program is like, we don't sing Whitney songs. However, I think Aliyah does sing Whitney songs. I think that she would sing the mess out of the song. I think that it could be a moment for her on this show to sing a song like I Have Nothing, that again does not have all the movement and runs and stuff, but is hard because it's Whitney, but it gives enough range, enough holleration. And I think that that song would sit really pretty in Aliyah's voice. So, the results. Aliyah was our winner. And unfortunately, Georgia and Mary were sent home. So, next up was another Coach Snoop group. And for this one, we actually got to see the full rehearsal and the full performances. We had Christeo, we had Michaela Ayura, and we had Tori Blake, who we have not gotten to see a lot of. So it was great to see a full segment and a full rehearsal and a full performance of Tori.